All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are breaking down the absolutely essential OSHA flammable cabinet requirements. And let's be clear, this isn't just about best practices. This is about mandatory compliance, the kind that protects your people, your facility, and your business from some very serious risks.
So let me start by asking you a direct question. If an OSHA compliance officer walked through your door right now, would you pass their inspection? Are you 100% confident? The stakes are incredibly high, and that one question is really what this is all about.
So, our mission today is simple: to give you clear, authoritative information straight from the federal standards, so you can walk away from this knowing your facility is both compliant and, more importantly, safe from fire hazards.
So here's how we're going to get you there. First, we'll cover the fundamentals, what OSHA says and what the key terms mean. Then we'll get into the nitty-gritty of cabinet construction and capacity. After that, we are going to clarify two of the most misunderstood topics, venting and grounding. Then we'll walk through what an actual OSHA inspection looks like, and finally, we'll wrap it all up with a clear action plan to get your facility inspection ready. Okay, first things first. Before we can talk about compliance, we need to be speaking the same language as the regulators. It all starts with the fundamentals.
So what is a flammable cabinet really? Well, it's not just a box. It's a highly engineered piece of safety equipment. Its entire purpose, as defined by both OSHA and the NFPA, is to survive a 10-minute fire test while keeping the temperature inside below 325 degrees Fahrenheit. And that 10-minute window? That's critical. It's designed to give your people time to get out safely and for first responders to arrive.
Now, it's really important to understand where these rules come from. You've got OSHA's regulation, that's 29 CFR 1910.106. That's the law. It's what's legally enforceable. But a lot of that law is actually based on the technical code from the National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA 30. You can think of it like this. NFPA provides the technical how-to for fire safety, and OSHA is the authority that makes it a must-do.
Okay, now let's dive into the most detailed and, honestly, the most critical part of this, the specific technical rules for cabinet construction and capacity. These rules are the absolute core of the flammable cabinet requirements, and this is where we see most facilities get tripped up during inspections.
The first number you have to burn into your memory is 60. You cannot, I repeat, cannot store more than 60 gallons of Class I or Class II flammable liquids in a single cabinet. We're talking about the most volatile stuff here, the chemicals with the lowest flash points. This isn't just some random number. It's all about limiting the potential fuel for a fire in any one spot. And the second key number is 120 gallons. This is your max for the less volatile Class 3 liquids. But here's the crucial detail you have to get right. A cabinet might be rated for 120 gallons total, but no more than 60 of those gallons can be the highly flammable Class I or II liquids. Getting these quantities right is a massive part of the flammable cabinet requirements.
Before we dig into the construction details, just take a look. This is what compliance looks like. These cabinets are purpose-built for one job: keeping people safe. They're almost always yellow for a reason. It's a universal sign for caution. You can't just stick your flammables in a standard office supply closet and call it a day. It just doesn't work that way. So this is why these cabinets are so effective. Let's quickly run through the 5 core construction requirements. It has to be double-walled, 18-gauge steel, with a 1.5-inch air gap between the walls for insulation. The door needs a 3-point latching system so it stays sealed tight in a fire. Down at the bottom, there's a 2-inch high sill to contain any spills. And of course, it has to be clearly labeled flammable, keep fire away. Every single one of these features has a specific life-saving purpose.
Okay, let's clear the air on 2 areas that cause an incredible amount of confusion when it comes to flammable cabinet requirements: venting and grounding.
Let's be perfectly clear on this, and we're going straight to the source. This is a direct quote from NFPA 30. It says, "For fire protection purposes, venting is not required. In fact, doing it wrong can make things much, much worse." The whole point of the cabinet is to be a sealed box during a fire.
So here's the bottom line. Unless you have a very specific local code or operational need for it, those vent openings on the side of the cabinet should be sealed tight with the plugs, the bungs that came with it. Why? Because an open vent can literally act like a straw, pulling flames and heat into the cabinet, which completely defeats its purpose and destroys its fire rating.
Now, let's tackle grounding. Again, let's look at the exact wording from OSHA. The key phrase here is dispensed into containers. That right there tells you exactly when grounding becomes an absolute must-do: during the active transfer of liquids.
This slide makes the distinction crystal clear. If your cabinet is just being used for passively storing sealed containers, the cabinet itself does not need to be grounded. It's that simple. But the moment you start dispensing from one container to another, you absolutely have to use proper bonding and grounding wires. This prevents a static spark, which is all it takes to ignite flammable vapors.
All right, let's put all this theory into practice. Imagine an OSHA compliance officer is walking through your facility. What specifically are they going to be looking for when they get to your flammable cabinets?
Here's their mental checklist. They're going to verify the construction, the double walls, the airspace, the three-point latch. They will absolutely check your liquid quantities against those 60 and 120-gallon limits. They'll look for that big, clear warning label. They're also going to check its location. Is it too close to an exit or an ignition source? And finally, are you storing incompatible chemicals together? This is a direct check against the core flammable cabinet requirements.
And these? These are the mistakes compliance officers see all the time. Going over the gallon limits, that's a big one. Propping those self-closing doors open with a wedge, that's an immediate fail. Using a regular old wooden closet or a standard metal locker instead of a properly rated cabinet, that's a guaranteed citation. These are the things that get facilities into trouble.
Okay, so now we know the rules and we know what the inspectors are looking for. Let's turn all of this knowledge into a concrete action plan for your facility.
And let's just reinforce why this is all so critical. Because it's about so much more than just avoiding a fine from OSHA. Proper compliance is about containing a potential fire, it's about protecting your workers, it's about satisfying your legal and insurance obligations, and ultimately, it's about making sure everyone gets to go home safe at the end of the day.
Here it is. This is your takeaway. Use this checklist and do your own internal audit. Verify the cabinet construction. Go confirm your liquid classes and count your gallons. Check those labels and make sure the doors latch properly. Review what's stored together for chemical compatibility. And, this is a big one, train your employees. A $1,000 cabinet is useless if your team doesn't know how to use it safely.
So at the end of the day, here's the main takeaway. Understanding and correctly implementing these flammable cabinet requirements is not optional. It is a fundamental, non-negotiable part of workplace safety. It is absolutely essential for fire prevention and for meeting your legal obligations.
For more inspection-ready safety guidance like this, and for professional OSHA compliance training, you can subscribe to HSE Study and make sure you're always staying ahead in workplace safety.